Hey, it's time for another edition of Hey, Whatever Happened To. It's a segment where one of us take a figure from pop culture that has maybe faded from the pop consciousness and say, hey, whatever happened to that person? And it's Amir's turn this week. He's gonna tell us the question that no one's been asking, which is, whatever happened to Tom from MySpace? This is true. This is Amir's first and only friend that he's ever had.
It's true. Okay, so Tom Anderson, I want to start from the beginning.
First of all, his name is Tom Anderson. I just know him as Tom from MySpace.
Yeah, it's not just Tom from MySpace.
Okay.
His name is Tom Anderson, and I wanted to kind of start from the beginning. So he was really an intrepid computer hacker as a kid, and he went by this student named Lord Flathead. And when he was 14, can I just take a quick pause right there? He went by the pseudonym Lord
seriously.
Yeah.
Lord Flathead.
Yeah, Lord Flathead.
Carry on.
Okay, so he actually he cracked the security of Chase Manhattan Bank when he was a teenager, and the FBI raided him. They literally raided him, but because he was so young, and I don't know, when he was 14, this was in 1984. They didn't do anything about it. So they're just you're too young. It's the 80s. You're a hacker. We don't think this is that big of a deal. Anyway, he got older and he went to UCLA where he studied critical film studies. Interesting, right? So after that, he worked at a number of jobs as this one job called X-Drive. He created a company called ResponseSpace. He sold that company.
How do people, we hear about Elon Musk too. People just create tech companies and then just sell them and then they're rich.
I read these bios and I never understand how these people, what it actually looked like.
The only people I know in my life who have ever created a company are awful and definitely haven't created a company.
Now imagine these people are also very techie and nerdy and they're into all this stuff and they know business as well. These people are crazy. We should stop them all.
Well, they're also geniuses.
Yes.
Carry on.
Anyway.
We should encourage them.
We should have only mediocrity.
Okay, tell me about Tom.
So then after he created this last company, he sold it, and then with the other employees from this company, he made the first pages of MySpace in 2003.
And what was his goal with this? What did he want? Did he want it to just be a flash in the pan and then be a footnote?
It was partly a reaction to the site Friendster, which I never used. Did you ever use this? Do you know what it is?
I didn't use Friendster, but I did get kicked off a website called Find a Friend in middle school.
Anyway, he didn't like that the policy of Friendster was that it blocked accounts that did not use real names.
Yeah, that's why I got kicked off of Find a Friend.
So he founded MySpace, and as we all know, Tom was the first friend that you'll ever get when you.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, he had this message that I never liked. I always thought it was corny, where he was like, hey, come look around MySpace. And especially because I was in middle school at this time, I remember looking, he was like, aren't you in college? What a weirdo. That guy's in his 20s, he's old.
Yeah, MySpace came at a weird time for me because before MySpace, my friends and I, we would use AIM, of course, where you would decorate your profile with everything you wanted to. But then Xanga. I don't know if you ever used Xanga, but Xanga was awesome.
It was a website builder, right?
Yeah, it was a website builder. And then MySpace came, and a few of us went to MySpace, but then it just had a weird rap about it.
No, MySpace was great for a time.
For music, right? For bands and stuff.
For music, but also it was great because think about what Facebook and Instagram is now. It's so incredibly managed that it's really hard to infuse your own personality on there. People will create themes on their Instagram where everything's in the right color scheme, and so it looks all together. But on MySpace, you could have these elaborate profile designs. You could choose your song, and so you could choose your song if you wanted to passively, aggressively tell someone that you love them or hated them, and you could switch that out so they come to your profile.
And the song plays.
Yeah, and it'd be
I remember that.
Yeah, and the song would play, and you'd be like, "That's right, Annalisa." I am in love with you.
Yes.
Really hope she doesn't watch this video because I was in love with her.
So moving on, in 2005, he actually sold MySpace to News Corp for $580 million.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. But I'm guessing in 2005, that was a lot of money. If that were to happen today, it would probably be in the billions.
He had a monopoly though at that time. In 2005, MySpace was it. I mean, Facebook was
coming up quickly.
For college students. But I remember looking at Facebook and I was like, oh, that looks like homework. That looks serious.
Yeah, he should have saved it for a lot more. But
poor guy.
So an unnamed News Corp executive said after they bought it, Tom Anderson was responsible for the product, but ended up being a complete bottleneck on getting things done. and he was replaced as president. Tom was replaced as president in 2009 by News Corp.
And that 2009 is sort of
Yeah.
like the writings on the wall when, I think it was probably around 2008 that I deleted my MySpace around that time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy how that happened, where it was so all-encompassing. For just a minute, it was where everyone was after school, and you would see when people were online, and people would post notes, and you'd wonder who those notes were about, and you'd have to go back and forth to someone's wall
golden
in order
era.
to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then just like that, it was poof, gone. And then Justin Timberlake bought it, and then it was still gone.
Yeah. So then by 2010, he was no longer the default friend on MySpace, and he was actually replaced by a profile called Today on MySpace, or TOM.
Oh gosh,
Tom.
that hurts.
Yeah.
You got replaced by an app.
Yeah. So he didn't really do anything after the whole MySpace debacle. And then on his Twitter in October 2014, his profile read, "Enjoying being retired." And that's pretty much.
You know what? That's fair. He absolutely shaped the culture.
He travels a lot,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of pictures on his Instagram of him traveling to exotic places and really enjoying life. Leia, look at these pictures.
Yeah, he's earned it. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the thing. He absolutely changed the social media landscape for sure. I think that MySpace reminds me a lot of sort of how Instagram is curated to a degree. He earned a whole bunch of money, and now he's taken that money and he's going to Hawaii.
And also in 2009, he made a cameo appearance in Funny People, that Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
I like that movie.
I did like the movie. His cameo,
dark.
if you watch it back, that cameo scene that you're referring to is very dated because it's when MySpace was still a thing. And it just is so, I actually kind of wonder if the website exists. I wish I'd looked this up ahead. I know that it does exist, but I do wonder what's on there because I remember when Justin Timberlake bought it, having sort of side conversations with friends, everyone was like, are you gonna go back to MySpace? Like, I don't know, do I have the energy to create another profile and think of another witty, dumb tagline under my stupid photo? I don't think so. I've got one, and that main thing is that I look like Lord Farquaad and I'm gay. That's pretty much what I've got to work
Stormtrooper.
with. Yeah, that's it. Like helmet hair, lesbian.
Yeah. One last fun thing. He had an experience in Burning Man in 2011.
Of course he did.
And he decided to pick up photography.
Of course he did.
And he really loves photography, and he has like a
God.
whole series of mostly natures and just scenes like that.
Please tell me that's an entire section on his Wikipedia
Yes.
page. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and
Yes,
then
it would
he
be.
actually had a quote on how his personal interests
Please
have always
read
been
it.
diverse. It's the most Burning Man thing you'll ever read.
Read the quote.
He said, quote, "If you knew me before MySpace, you probably thought I'd have been a scholar teaching philosophy in a university my whole life. But if you met me before college, you'd probably have thought I'd be a musician for my entire life. I like to change."
I want to hear the response of people that actually know and be like, Tom, no one thought that. No one thought that, Tom.